Welcome back, metalheads. Today I'm spinning the wax with Bec Thorwesten of Melbourne, Australia's Terminal Sleep, and we're listening to Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory. Don't go anywhere, it all starts right now. Hello again, headbangers, and welcome back to Spinning the Wax, where we listen to your favorite artists' favorite records. My name is John Garcia, aka Stay Puffed, the Metal Marshmallow, and your friendly neighborhood headbanger. On the episode today, I'm joined by Bec Thorwesten, vocalist of Melbourne-based hardcore band Terminal Sleep, a band that's all about being a bad bitch. You wouldn't know it from having a casual conversation with her, but Bec has a scream that rips flesh from bone, and her stage presence is so powerful and feral that Godzilla should be jotting down some notes here. She and her mates in Terminal Sleep are in the early days of making a name for themselves. We are still waiting on a debut album, after all, but they've been hitting the Australian gig scene hard the last few years while they slow drip banger track after banger track to keep the masses appeased. So check them out if you haven't already done so, and they will be hitting the international circuit in 2025, but more on that soon. Bec's record of choice is Linkin Park's classic debut studio album, Hybrid Theory, which, as it did for many of us, helped launch her interest into heavier and more aggressive music. We discuss what we were like half a lifetime ago, the perfection of Chester Bennington's voice, and how the album still generates feelings for us no matter how long it's been since we've last played it. Bec also talks about the growth of Terminal Sleep, touring across Australia, learning how to take care of her voice, and why she still prefers the full album experience over shuffling a playlist on Spotify or Apple Music or something like that. We also repeatedly steer the conversation off topic to talk about our pets and the wonders of the cat distribution system and everything like that. Honestly, I think that there are points of this episode where we talk about our cats more so than the actual album. But hey, when you're an unscripted show, why fight the current of good conversation, right? Hail Strudel and Banana. So I am extremely pleased and excited to welcome Bec Thorwesten onto the show. And so I already gave you an amazing introduction and we fucked it up. So
You did.
Welcome to the program, Bec Thorwesten. It's so good to have you on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'll try not to screw up the audio.
No, it's fine. Trust me, I'm sure that it's not your fault or my fault. It's just the internet's fault, and that's what we can say. But hey, we're here, and we're getting through whatever audio problems that we had, because we were yapping for 20 minutes before recording, and then literally you said hello, and then the audio went out.
Yeah, it just hates me.
Yeah, it's fine. I know what being hated feels like. So, hey, welcome to the show. We're going to be listening to Linkin Park today, which is... So this is what I was about to tell you before we recorded, is I have been meaning to go back and re-listen to this album for probably months now, especially with the rumbles that they may be getting back together or something may be happening. But I haven't listened to this album in full for years and years. But I imagine that it's probably just going to feel like meeting an old friend, riding an old bike, something like that. Why do you love this album, Bec?
It was just a really pivotal moment for me when I discovered it when I was younger, just getting into heavier music. I remember being 14 and just falling in love with it. And it's just always stayed iconic, every song is a banger. And I had to listen to it in ages as well. It was probably a good 10 years or so. And then for some reason it came up a couple of months ago, and then I listened to that and the other one, Midnight, I can't remember what it is, but it's that White album, and they're all walking across. And it just brings back memories, and it's really good. And just Chester's voice is incredible. So yeah, always in awe of it.
Yeah, there's a reason why it's still I think it's on one of the top 50 best-selling albums of all time, up there with about 5,000 different Garth Brooks albums and live albums or whatever on that. But like, this was such, I think for, not just you, but for so many people, that like aha moment, I think, for getting into hardcore or heavier music. I mean, hearing a dude on the radio yelling, "Shut up when I'm talking to you," was just like the fucking hardest thing in the world. And I remember my mom just like,
"What is this?"
I know, but like I remember like driving around in my mom's minivan and like the passenger seat, she's like, "What is he yelling about? Why is he yelling so much? He's being rude." And I was like, "This is the coolest fucking thing I've ever heard."
It's so cool. I remember like I was singing along to it in my room and like my mum walked in. I didn't know she was there. And I was just like, giving it all I had. And then I was so embarrassed because she was watching me for like a good 10 seconds. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was that little teenager, like, "Don't look at me."
Yeah, it's like, how long have you been standing there? Like, long enough.
Yeah.
Like,
just my whole face went red. I was just, absolutely mortified. But it's such a good album.
And so before we get into the album, I did want to mention, so when I was prepping for this interview, I went back and listened to the first interview that we did. And if you want to hear something very cute, the date for that one was September 10th, 2022, which is like, I'm September 9th right now. You're in the future with where you're at. I don't know
September 7th.
Is it September 7th?
We're September 7th today.
Dude, oh my God. I thought it was the 9th.
But we're close. We're so close.
We're so close,
I think it's the 10th, yeah. Hey, look, still, that's pretty amazing.
It's very close. Yeah,
really,
because I was going to say, I'm sure that we didn't talk on that day because shit had to get like uploaded and everything like that. But I thought it was just like a very fortuitous thing, like almost to the day, 2 years later. And at that point, Terminal Sleep had only had one song out.
Yeah.
The things were like just starting. And like, I remember like I was going through the interview. It's like we can talk, but I don't know what the fuck to say because I haven't heard like literally anything else. But since then, I mean, so much has happened. You've had at least 2 EPs, if not, like, I don't know if you count the last release that y'all did as an EP as well. You've gone on an actual tour. You've toured with Alpha Wolf. You've done all that stuff. So before we get in the album, please catch me up on your exciting life in the last 2 years since we've spoken, because I'm sure that you have a few more tattoos since then, a lot more stories and some like experiences. So please catch me up.
I mean, you've sort of hit the nail on the head. Yeah, we released a whole bunch of music. Just did stuff that I wasn't expecting, like that regional Australian tour we did with Amity and Alpha Wolf was such a good experience. And it was like my first sort of proper tour, so good to know that I can do that. And that my voice like holds up, so it's exciting for what we have planned in the future. And then the 2-track, I mean, I guess it was sort of an EP because we had the remix as well, so you could say it was an EP. But just so much has happened and there's so much still coming. Like, I'm not going to say big things coming, but
big things coming.
But there is stuff in the works. So
sure.
No, it's been so much fun. And yes, more tattoos. Actually, the last 2 Saturdays I've been tattooed. So this Saturday is a nice pain-free day for me. So there
you go.
Thank you.
I'm glad to do whatever I can to like stop you from hurting yourself. I have I don't have any booked yet, but I usually get mine in like the winter time around here because I don't like getting tattooed in the summer.
Makes sense.
Not that I actually like go outside and like swim in streams or anything like that, but it's like I could, right? It's like if you get a tattoo in the summer, you're done from that. But I think it's been just so cool to see you and the lads really, things taking off and people, starting to see the band and stuff like that. I know that it's still like very, very early stages with everything, but considering that y'all have basically hit the ground running from when lockdowns were a thing in Melbourne and everything like that, it's just cool to see the momentum and the I don't know, the way that the scene and the different Australian cities and stuff like that have kind of shown up and turned up for y'all, and the support that they've been giving you.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like as a band, we're like evolving and I'm really enjoying the direction that we're going, just with the new stuff that we're writing. So yeah, it's really, really exciting. So Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm sure we'll talk about all of that in a little while, but let's do this. I'm going to send you this link, and let's get into Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory.
Hybrid Theory.
Just like instant nostalgia right back into the brain.
Yes.
You mentioned this sort of, but was this like your 100% intro into like heavy shit, or had you kind of been like looking around at some other things before this one?
Yeah, there was a few beforehand. Like I think like My Chemical Romance was a big one. I know that's not
Okay.
quite as heavy.
It still counts.
Yeah, it still counts. I think it was still like a stepping stone. And Corn as well. That was definitely one of my first ones. I think, yeah, Linkin Park, Corn, and My Chem were the big three for me. And then everything just manifested from there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This chorus right here. Oh my God.
Right?
Just like
bring back
weightless,
so
right?
many memories.
And it reminds me of something like recently that I've been listening to. I don't remember what it is. Could be like a Machine Head chorus. It could be like something else. Who knows? So while editing this episode, I realized that the chorus I was thinking of was actually from Disturbed's Remember. Go listen to it. It's very, very similar. Now, back to the programming. Yeah, for me, it was similar. Like, around this time, it was Godsmack's Awake, Linkin Park's Crawling, and Chop Suey by System of a Down were like the three heavy, quote-unquote, songs that really started that snowball down the hill for me.
Yeah. System of a Down was one for me as well. And like, yeah, I'll go back and listen to a few of those albums, and they're so good. So,
yeah, I haven't listened to any Godsmack in a little while, but System of a Down is still in my rotation. And here, god damn, this song is just like you've never left fucking middle school.
Right? Exactly. I'm just sitting on the bus with my big like emo fringe, just really, really angry. So yeah, it takes me right back there.
Yeah, I was trying to grow my hair out. Maybe a little bit after this. So I basically had Hobbit hair for the longest time because I have like really curly hair and it grows out rather than down. So I definitely looked like that, which, a small, 100-pound kid with Hobbit hair and braces is really, really great for
when you edit this, you should put a photo of that. You should find a photo.
I know the exact one, actually. I'm going to be sitting there with my fucking like Black Label, not Black Label Society, but Black Label, like the skate brand t-shirt with my gelled up hair and this goth ring that I thought was really cool. The goths hated me in middle school.
The masters
they were
need
friends.
to see this. So if you do that, I'll try and find one of me with my big emo scene fringe if I can find one.
We'll put them side by side and just like have the Olin Mills style, Oh man. Mom, can you mail me all of my middle school pictures? No reason. Just do it, please. Thank you.
I just need it now. Oh, I wish that because my MySpace had the like worst / best photos of my scene days, but obviously like it's deleted and I didn't save the photos, and I wish, because there was so many bad ones, but I'm like, I want to look at it now.
So were you full on like hair and piercings and dye and like all that stuff?
Yeah, I had a period where it was that massive fringe, and I would like pin it down every day so that it would like stay in place. And I had like black hair, and I got the big like the blonde streak through it as well at one point. And then after high school, I got like the snake bites and everything, and I cut all my hair off, and I had like short red hair. I did everything. I was just like, whatever.
I was always jealous of people that could just do that so quick or just like change things. I've always been, I've always had anxiety. I've always been very self-conscious and had low self-esteem, which made me, be like a shrinking violet sometimes and things like that. So I was always like, sometimes I would be like, well, like I want to wear this t-shirt out, but like, then what if people make fun of me, or what if someone said I don't want to draw attention, all of that shit. So like I never changed anything about my appearance until like almost like college and shit like that. It was just like, I'm just gonna stay in my lane and try and not rock the boat or whatever. And I was always very jealous of people that could be like, no, we can just do whatever we want and find what it is. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I definitely had a lot of regrets. So I would like change my hair or something, and then I'd be like, this looks horrible. Like I cut all my hair off and I just don't suit short hair. I don't think I do. And then you stuck with it, and it's like, well, I just have to deal with it now.
Yeah, but I'm sure that
Wait for it
also
to go
helps you.
back.
Yeah, exactly, and then helps you find your your self-confidence and like your personal style and all that other shit, which
Yeah.
I am only just now in my 30s starting to get into. So yay,
Hey, better
Lexapro.
late than never.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. But yeah, because I was gonna say I mean, I'm sure that a lot of you is probably happy that those pictures don't exist anymore. You know, even though that you're like, yeah, I would like a few of them to go through, because I found a couple of pictures for me when I was in the thrash metal bands I was in like like late high school and shit like that. And yeah, also very much like in between curly hair and stuff like that, that I'm just like, no one needs to see those anymore.
Did you
It's fine.
straighten your hair at all?
Of course, yeah. And it wasn't just like, most of the time it wasn't me. It was always like girls that I hung out with were like, oh, we want to straighten that hair, because it was so curly that it would like literally, it would go from like hanging out around my
Like
shoulders to
double
like being,
length.
it was crazy, but it looked really good. But I have, like I said, just like thick, disgusting curly hair that is just
It'll take
everywhere.
forever to straighten. Yeah.
Yeah, the days
like
of exploring long hair again are over for me, I think.
Yeah. Long hair it's a commitment. Like every now and again, I get an urge to cut all my hair off just because it gets in the way. Or like, I don't know, it just, and especially if it's windy. So yeah, but I've kept it for now. This is the longest it's ever been, like, in my adult life. So I'm just gonna see how it goes. But every now and again, I get the urge to just rage cut it all off. So if you see me one day with just like the worst bob you've ever seen in your life, it's because I just got angry and just
something happened. Someone really pissed you off, or you just like, I don't know if you're a gamer or something like that, but you just got like pissed off at a level. Yeah, just like fuck this. They're just like, I saw oh my god, you just remember, and this is gonna open a rabbit hole that I don't know if we want to go down, but I saw a meme the other day that was like, it was just a kid who was like, one time I went to the hospital because I got so mad that the batteries on my Game Boy shut off during Pokemon Gym Battle, and I ate the batteries.
I saw that meme as well, and I was just like, I never did that, but God, I can relate to that so much. Like, I threw so many controllers when I was younger. I'm good now. I don't get angry like that now. But I remember, you just couldn't beat a boss or something like that. And I just would piff my controller at the wall. I was just saying, this song is so good.
I haven't listened to this song in so long. Because we were talking before we recorded about, obviously the singles for this are ubiquitous and just stained, branded, tattooed, whatever on the wrinkles in our brain. But these other songs, like I remember, like this was, I believe that this was, this say I do, I can't forget it.
Yeah, you can't. It's like every single song is fantastic. I feel like there's no skips in this album.
Yeah, and to talk about like Chester's kind of influence and like how obviously he's such a great singer and has such a powerful voice, but I think for me, obviously just given where I found this was really the first time that I heard someone singing lyrics of like a more of a darker persuasion, or like talking about mental health things that I didn't even realize like were a thing, even though that I had felt kind of emotions like this before. And I think that that's so cool. And, you know, it's so sad, obviously, how everything turned out, but the amount of people that, you know, like me, likely found different avenues of thinking, or like, you know, reading these things to be like, oh, someone else has gone through the things that I am currently going through, especially at the ages that we found it.
Yeah, definitely. And just the way he expresses it as well, it was just so cathartic to listen to. God, his voice is so good. Like, just everything about it is amazing. Like that one scream he does, it's not on this album, it's in one of the other ones. And I think he holds it for like 45 seconds or something. I could be wrong, but it's insane. And like the strength he has behind it. Like now, because obviously back then I wasn't looking at being a vocalist, but now when I listen to it, I'm still like, how the hell is he doing that?
Yeah.
Like, how is he holding that for that long? So, yeah, crazy. Definitely an inspiration.
And so I like for full disclosure, my knowledge on Linkin Park pretty much extends to this album and Meteora, and then I completely lost track of them after that. Oh my God, this song right here. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, okay, hey, I'm just gonna start like just belting out, crawling in my skin.
As is your right.
Yeah. Oh, what I was gonna say about, because you're talking about vocals and stuff like that. I know on Meteora there are a lot of, like, you can hear some overtones and some, like, it sounds like he's singing on, like, he's doing harmonies, but it's really just the way that his voice is coming out, that it sounds like 2 or 3 people singing at the same exact time. It's wild.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I don't know how he did it.
Is how I know. You get to see me at all my steak face.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, because I'm in my bedroom right now, and if someone like walks past like the windows and they just see me belting out. Actually, to be fair, my neighbors always hear me doing my warm-ups and shit. So
yeah, because like I assume you probably like, are your flatmates cool with just like you screaming most of the time,
Yeah. Well, I actually live now with Dom, so one of our guitarists.
Okay, cool.
And then another guy. So Dom's very used to it, but yeah, like when I do my scales and stuff, I'll just go in my room, but then to properly scream, I stand in my cupboard and like between all my clothes. So
Amazing.
that's sort of like, yeah, that captures the sound a bit better, but I know you can still hear it, like, because we live in like a little complex thing.
Yeah.
So if a neighbor walks past, they would 100% just hear some screaming, but
no cops have been called just yet. Yeah, not yet at least.
No, not yet. But my old housemate, who's also in like a grindcore band, so they were, doing some screaming, and literally the neighbors called the cops.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and they would just have to be like, sorry, I'm in like a metal band, so yeah. And then they were like, no worries, all good.
Yeah. I remember when I was first starting to try and, explore my voice and stuff like that, my routine was I would get home from school about like 2:00 in the afternoon. And my mom was a teacher, so nobody else was home at the time. She would get home maybe like an hour and a half later. So I'd run up to my room, and I have one of those, big 2000 stereos with like the 5 CD changer or whatever, and like the speakers that big, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of them too.
Yes. So I would have like some like Dimmu Borgir CDs and some like Iron Maiden and Iced Earth CDs and stuff like that, and I would turn it up really loud so you couldn't hear me, and I would just like yell along to those things, and I'd always be constantly like looking out the window to see like, is my mom home? Because I don't like, it's embarrassing. That like started a thing where just like I don't like being around when I'm doing like mostly with stuff with my voice, because I never had a problem like playing guitar in front of people, but like it got me really self-conscious about my voice that way, unless I was like in front of bandmates or something. But I was just like, I would run upstairs, sing along to my stereo until I heard the garage door open, then I'd turn it off and like run back down and be like, nothing happened.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I find like I've actually done the whole like into a pillow before
Okay.
I was like going in my cupboard. But it doesn't work that well because you can't really breathe properly.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't recommend that. Yeah, that method. But I'm moving soon into like an apartment complex, so I think I'm gonna have to put little like letters in people's mailboxes and just say like, "Hi, I live in this unit. You might hear some screaming from time to time, but like, don't worry."
So if you put a QR code on that note, that's technically your own street team, and you're you're going around and promoting your band.
Yeah. Hell yeah, good idea.
So we talked about this when we spoke before, but so Terminal Sleep is your very first band, which is like crazy to me. And I can't remember as far as like, I know that you had been doing some screaming before, but I don't know like for how long. And I loved how Will was just like, bro, she fucking rules and nobody knows, and like we're gonna keep her all to ourselves, and it's gonna be great. But like, so as you've been, recording more and playing more music and getting out and touring and actually having to take care of your voice and stuff like that, like how have you been finding? I guess learning about your instrument in a way that you're not just like, oh, I'm going to do this for fun, but actually like, no, this is something that we're trying to do and I've got to take care of it and all that other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's been it's a good learning experience. I mean, I went and saw a vocal coach and had like 5 or 6 sessions with him, and he was fantastic. He just taught me how to get that endurance out of my voice and like where my strengths are, things like that.
Hmm.
So I take care of it pretty well. Like leading up to a tour, I do my scales and I'll sort of do a song every day and then do 2 songs every day and like work up to the set list.
Hmm.
Always warm up and cool down before a show.
Yeah,
I don't drink when I'm on tour. I don't smoke or vape. Yeah, so
that's smart. That's
I
hard.
take yeah, well, I just because with me as a yapper, a fellow yapper, so if I
Yeah,
have like if I get a little bit tipsy, I will just yell. Like it's just my personality. So
I
I will
gotcha.
yap and yell. And so then by the end of the night, my voice will be absolutely shot.
Makes
So
sense.
I'll when we're on tour, I'll finish a show and I'll just go cool down and then that's it. I'm really boring and antisocial.
Yeah, talk on like a whiteboard or something like that. Yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
speaking and alcohol are like the worst things that you can do for your voice, which is like
Yeah.
great, cool, because I need to talk as a human being, but like I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then like, I find I can be socially awkward sometimes as well. So it's like I might have a drink or two to feel better, but I
Hmm.
can't.
Yeah.
Not when I'm on tour. I'll drink on the very last night of tour. So that's like my reward.
Mm.
Um, but otherwise, like even with doing merch, so if we have a show the next day, so Dom will mainly do merch just because that talking, and especially when it's loud in a venue, you'll be yelling over the merch table. Sorry, I just saw your dog in the background, cute.
Yeah. Oh
But you'll
yeah.
be, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
My cat
Buster's
is
right
in
here.
my room somewhere as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
he does not.
adorable.
He actually does not like. People who are listening to this only on audio are going to be like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" But yeah, Buster
Oh
does
yeah,
not
true.
like to. Yeah, he
There's a
does not
dog.
like
There's a
to
dog in it.
be outside of the room when I'm not in it. And like, so if I don't let him in, he'll just scratch on the door. So I've had
Yeah.
interviews where I'm like cutting them up, and I hear every once in a while.
Well, I
He's
have
a
to
good
do that
boy.
with my cat Strudel. So she's in here somewhere. But if I don't let her in my room, yeah, she'll be howling at the door. So I brought
Strudels
her in
is an
here.
amazing name for a cat.
Thank you. So I got Strudel and her brother Banana.
Strudel and a
So I
banana. Oh
adopted.
God, I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, I adopted them both, and I've always wanted to have 2 cats called Banana and Strudel.
Well, there you
So
go.
yeah, they're very
We
cute. Yeah.
our last, so we have 2 cats right now. I had so we originally had 2 cats. I had a cat for 15 years. We adopted Blanche, and she was about 2 months or 3 months when we brought her home, and Ovi died about like 2 months after that. So Blanche was an only cat for a little while before we just the cat distribution system gifted us Egon about like 2 months ago. But
Yeah.
we were very close to naming Blanche a food item because it just like food items are just perfect for cat names. And I think we were looking
It's
at
perfect.
yeah, we were looking at Gouda was one of them. I think toaster strudel was like one possibly just like look at that little fucking toaster strudel over there. But we settled on Blanche and it worked because she is 100% without a doubt a Blanche.
Yeah.
Oh my
No, I
God,
love
this
it.
song. Oh man, just the
Right?
piano right here. I have like vivid memories of being at my best friend in middle school's house after school, like playing this on the piano, like figuring out with our ears and like doing everything. Um, Man, feels like 1,000 years ago. Like I mean, it literally was like
Right?
half my
It's
life ago.
crazy.
Like half my
It
life
was,
ago.
yeah, it was a long time ago, and it's just like so bizarre to think how much time has passed, but the album still makes you feel the same. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. So the cat distribution system that you just mentioned earlier, it is like that because so my cat Maggie, like my old geriatric cat, we put her down like 4 months ago now or
Oh,
something.
I'm sorry.
But then Banana and Strudel were dumped at my friend's house, like just dropped off at his front door. So someone abandoned them, and that was maybe like a couple of weeks after I lost Maggie. And so I was like, I'll just come over and meet them, knowing full well what was going to happen.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, what are the odds that 2 kittens get dumped at my friend's house? And just so happens to be that I've got room for 2 kittens. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, not to sidetrack again. But
No,
that just
because
reminded me
I
of
was
that.
going to say the same exact thing happened. I mean, when I found Ovi, I was in college. I was mourning the Washington Capitals hockey team getting eliminated in 7 games to the arch rival Pittsburgh Penguins. That's when they went on to win the cup in 2009. I was so pissed. So I was on the porch, like drunk and smoking, and I was with
damn.
with my girlfriend at the same time, my girlfriend at the time, and this little kitten just jumped up on the porch, and I scooped her up and never looked back for 15 years.
Oh, that's
you know?
so cute.
Yeah. And so she was with me through, all of, I mean, I was 19 years old when I found her, and she was with me through all of my early 20s and like finding out who I am. And this part, I got to shut up real quick though for this part. The amount of emotions during this like little like bridge.
I've put my trust.
Where he goes in that octave right there, it's just like,
Right?
oh my God, I can't get over
And
this
like,
song.
he like has a bit of like more of a dirty scream as well. It's just like, oh, Chester, I feel it.
Just
So
the
good.
pure, just like artistic license. I don't know what you would call it, but just like talent. Just like shit that you can't fake, right? Just like
Yeah.
he's just getting there and like doing this thing, and nobody else would be able to do that other than Chester. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
100%.
So anyway, so after that little part, like it's crazy. I haven't listened to this in so long, and still this song can fucking like
Right?
do
It can
emotions
evoke
to me.
those emotions. It's crazy.
Well, especially as we're talking about like our beloved, dearly past pets and stuff like that. Actually,
Yeah.
Ovi is right there. I don't know if you can see her. Literally, after talking to my partner about like, I think I might be ready to get a kitten at some point for Blanche because she could use a buddy, and she was looking forward to being like a 2-cat household and stuff like that. We were
Yeah.
at PetSmart, and I heard like yelling, like, "Meow, meow," and some lady came up with her daughter and was like, do you guys want a cat? Because we cannot take care of this cat, and we can't find a home for this cat, and we need a home for this cat. We just found it abandoned. And he was 1 pound, starving, like he only had like a couple of days left at the most. And
Yeah.
and we brought him back. And so like that distribution system you're talking about, just like literally
It's
as soon
meant
as we
to
put it out
be.
into the universe, it's like, here you go, here's another little cat buddy, and he's just the
Yeah.
fucking best.
It's so bizarre. Like, so Strudel, when we obviously they were dumped at my friend's house, we took them to like a cat shelter just to check if they were okay and get de-sexed and all that. So they had to stay there for 2 weeks, like for quarantine. And in that time, the shelter like named them temporarily. And the uncanny thing is they named Strudel Maggie, which was my old cat's name.
What the fuck?
I know.
That's like some
when I
Twilight
went
Zone
to-
shit.
It was insane. So when I went and picked them up, they were like, oh, what are you naming them? And I wrote down, I filled out the forms, and then I like checked it across against what they had called her, and I was just like, that is crazy that you called her Maggie. So
Yeah.
I was like, it's meant to be. And then she
Yeah.
does stuff that Maggie does as well. She steals my seat all the time. So whenever I get up, she just comes and sits on it, and it's like, just. But
You
it's
son of a
adorable.
bitch. It's funny you say that, because I've been saying too that the spirit of Ovi is very much alive and well in Egon as well, just because of some of the things that he does. And like one of her quirks, for as long as I knew her, is like, if I had thought like, okay, like after this show, I'm going to get up and brush my teeth, or like, it's about time, like I'm done with my lunch, I'm going to get up and get back to work or whatever. Without fail, she would jump on your lap like right before you're about to get up, and you're like, well, I'm stuck or whatever. And it was just a
Yeah.
constant thing. And he has started doing that as well. And I'm just like, okay, like what the fuck is going on over here? Like this is such
Yeah.
a specific quirk for her, and it's been like happening a couple of times. Wild.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Actually, Strudel has just jumped up I'll see if I can get her. Ooh. So yeah, this is Strudel.
Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so cute.
She's a void cat. She doesn't really like being picked up just yet, but she's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I hate this.
Wacky waving, inflatable arm flailing too,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, she's adorable.
I had forgotten while we were talking about cats and everything like that, which I'm surprised this show hasn't devolved into just pet speak before, like this, like. But a place in my head, I forgot about this song. That was awesome,
right?
and now we're listening to this. This is the song "Forgotten." That's like, I think probably where everybody was like, okay, I could see them with Jay-Z before they went out to like actually go play with Jay-Z. You know, this is the song that really makes sense with them going and doing that that collaboration.
Yeah, definitely. Getting so sidetracked with cat. I can't even remember what we were talking about before the cat stuff now.
We were talking about In the End, we were talking about piano, and we were talking about vocals and stuff like that. But yeah, just we just opened up and like, let's talk about animals. Okay, so to bring this back around to like music and shit like that, something that you said earlier we were talking about with In the End, how it can bring up these memories and how 24 years, almost 25 years after this album comes out, it still brings up feelings and thoughts, and you can listen to it and there's no time has passed. What other albums besides this one really like get you, like you could listen to them at any point and sing them even if you haven't listened to them in like 2 years, 5 years, 10 years?
Definitely My Chemical Romance.
Mm-hmm.
Like Black Parade and 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. Like always.
Yes.
Like when they came here, I'd be like 2 years ago now, whatever it was. Like, it was just incredible, just belting out all the words. So that would definitely be another 2 albums. I can't think of any other not off the top of my head. Like, there's definitely songs, but like whole albums.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of.
Are you like an album person, or are you like a playlist shuffle person?
Definitely an album person.
Okay.
So I really like to sink my teeth into something, and
So do I.
When one of my favorite bands releases a new album, it's just like, yes, like I can become obsessed with this now. Like, thank you. This is my new like hyper fixation for the next 3 weeks. So
yes,
definitely an album person. Otherwise, like, I don't know, I don't really like playing, like you go to Spotify and it's got like the top song or whatever.
Yeah.
And people just listen to it that way.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I need to listen to stuff in order, or like the way that the artist put them out. It just sort of sits better with my brain. So yes.
I've had to actually break myself of doing that type of stuff from just like the sheer amount of music that I have to listen to, and both in my like daily life and the amount of music that I want to listen to, because those are 2 very different things, right? What I have to listen to versus what I want to listen to. But
yeah, I can imagine.
Again, it comes with the anxiety, but I'm just like, I have to listen to everything all the time. And I just wish that there was like a way that you could like pile up like 10 different albums on your plate and like listen to them all at the same time at once and still get everything done. Because like, I don't know. Like, I have more music in my music library than I'm ever going to listen to in my life, which is like, I've been having to come to terms with that recently, and I don't know how I feel about that. But it's like, I don't know what to do with the amount of music that's coming out right now. Yeah,
definitely. I feel like it would be harder for you because, like you said, there's music that you listen to for enjoyment and then music that you have to do for work. So it would be different. I mean, I try and set up like 10 albums in a row and just go into it.
Yeah.
But it takes a while.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, like I just get more enjoyment out of listening to an album and just like the experience from it. So
yeah,
I think I'll stick with that for now. But like you said, like breaking a compulsion, it's hard.
It is. And, it's not like, you can't get anything, you're like an artist's intention or feel something from just like a single song or something like that. But I agree, just... This is going to sound like fucking like, okay, boomer or whatever, right? But like, when I was in middle school or when I was in high school, and streaming was just like in its like infancy, and you'd have to like destroy your family computer to download an album from the internet or whatever it is. Yeah. Yes, exactly. I had albums that I like bought and I didn't have anything else from the band, so I would just like rinse that over and over. And now I've gotten into bands, you know, in the last like 5 years where it's just like, yeah, I've got, you know, their whole entire discography added into my Apple Music folder, and I've maybe listened to like 1 or 2 albums because it's just so, because I don't have that same,
so much.
you know, that same like connection with it anymore. But just like the act of sitting down and experience an album from front to back that like an artist has like really intentionally laid out for you. I don't know if there's anything better other than just like getting lost in a really good book that you feel like your life isn't the same after you're done with it.
Yes,
the two things,
it's exactly like that. It's exactly like that. The Limewire thing, actually, I did break the family computer. Downloaded some like worm or whatever it was called, and it turned every single icon or app or whatever into iTunes. So like even the rubbish bin was iTunes, just everything was iTunes. And so my parents cracked it at me, and we had to get some like external IT person to come and fix it.
Oh,
so
no.
I was banned from downloading and stuff, but I think I still did. I just did it sneakily.
Yeah, I
can't not have music.
No, absolutely not. I would, I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. I don't know if I got cut, but I would when we had dial-up, I would turn on the computer after my parents went to bed, connect to the internet, download a song because it took all night to download, and then I would wake up before everybody else went, run downstairs and do that.
I was saying I'm amazed they didn't like wake up from the dial-up noise.
Thankfully, I think it was like I think I could like mute the speakers and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely destroyed a computer in my day or so also. So those of you that have staypuffmetal@gmail.com, send me your story of how you destroyed your family computer downloading from Limewire and Kazaa and Napster and all those ancient file sharing services that us olds are remembering now. Like, back in my day, I remember it took 20 years to download a song.
Literally though, like I sound like a boomer as well, but kids just don't get it. It was so hard.
They don't know the struggle.
They don't.
Oh my
Same
God.
as like MSN and all that as well.
Yeah, I was never.
Like,
I was on
so
AIM.
different.
I was never on MSN. That passed me by. But I do remember all of the fun, you know, drama of AOL Instant Messenger, of the cryptic away messages and putting like emo lyrics in your profile.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Or like doing a lyric, or like, you know, not having a good time, but don't message me or whatever. I don't think I ever did that, but I always just thought that was so funny. I mean, it's similar to fake statuses where they'll be like,
Of course.
you know, in a bad mood, don't DM. It's like, just don't talk about it, man. Don't post about it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I got real big for a second when Facebook still has like the, you know, John Garcia is, and then like that's all you could put. When I first got into Facebook, I was like pretty big on cryptic messages and stuff like that, stemming from you know, my angsty teenager times, which is like, you know, we were talking about you being a scene kid. I never was a scene kid, and in fact I hated emo music. That was like the hill that I would like die on.
We would have been,
you know?
enemies.
I know we would have, but like we also would have been friends, because at like some point it would have like, you know, it was like, yeah, I would have infected you with metal and you would have infected me with the emo, and then like I would have actually probably become a My Chemical Romance fan, you know, at some point. But given just how much the emotions that I had and like all the cryptic AIM messages and shit like that, I'm actually surprised I wasn't an emo kid, because like I think at my
Sounds
heart,
very emo.
you know, exactly. No, I'm a very emotional person, Bec, and just like I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just like the I actually knew, you know what it was? It was the singing, like, tonight we'll do it for you.
Oh, yeah.
I
didn't like that stuff either. Like mine was more like emo, like Circle Takes the Square, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like
So,
proper
yeah.
true emo, like Rites of
Proper
Spring type
emo.
of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we finished the album as well.
We did, and this happens, I was going to say
Yeah.
this literally happens every episode, where, you know, at some point we just roll off on the conversation, and then it's like, wait a second, did the album end like 20 minutes ago or anything like that? But yeah, Pushing Me Away was the last song, which was another one that I had like honestly really forgotten about, since I haven't spun this album in so long, and very good.
It's very good.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
done.
glad that you were able to experience it once again.
Yeah, I'm so glad that the universe lined up because, like I said, I've been trying to listen to this in full for so long, and now I'm gonna just be fucking like crawling in for like the rest of the fucking weekend.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna go for a walk and put it on.
Yeah, I did that with one of the last albums I recorded. We listened to it, we got done, and then I just immediately put it back on again while I was like making
Yeah.
lunch and stuff like that. I think, given the fact that they're, getting back together and doing some stuff, I may actually break my illiteracy, I guess, on like the other Linkin Park albums. I can't promise that I'll love them, but are you familiar with their like later stuff as well, or is this the
No.
one for you? Okay, cool.
It's just Hybrid Theory, and then it's Minutes to Midnight is, I think, the other one that I really got into.
Yeah.
That just had like a few real good bangers on it. But otherwise, yeah, I sort of dropped off. My taste went elsewhere.
Yeah.
But those two albums just stuck with me.
Which, again, staypuffmetal@gmail.com. I'd be very interested to hear our listeners' journey with Linkin Park. Did you follow them throughout their career, or you like Bec and I, or just they were that gateway stepping stone for you to find other stuff, which they definitely were for me. But, I would have never found Death or Morbid Angel or Cannibal Corpse or anything like that had it not been for this band in a roundabout way.
Yeah, 100%. Same here.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory, my friend.
10 out of 10 will always have a special place in my heart. Love it.
Done. Great. Cool. So, I can't wait. I'm going to listen to Meteora tonight. I think so, because I haven't listened to that album in fucking ages.
Do it.
Cool. Well, for those people that are keeping tabs on Terminal Sleep, Bec, and those people that are not, and now will be, what do you want them to, like, plug your shit? What's coming up? What can you say? What do you want people to be paying attention to? All that good stuff.
I can't say much, but we
Right.
do. There's a bunch of stuff coming up, like just new stuff. What you can expect. Looking to finally get out of Australia next year, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just check it out, I guess.
Yeah,
If
do
you
it.
want.
Check it out, you fucking nerds.
Do
Terminal Sleep,
it.
you dogs.
Yeah, exactly. I'll call you a dog.
I need to get over to Australia one of these days. That 22-hour flight, though, is like really, really intimidating for me. Like, I've done the longest I've done is 9 hours, and I started getting like fucking punchy. I was like, get me out of this can right now. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's pretty horrendous. Like you have to walk up and down the aisle and everything like that. To just get some Valium or something.
Yeah, just Xanax.
It's horrendous.
Yeah. There's no fucking way. But one of these days, I'm gonna do the fucking Lord of the Rings New Zealand tour, and then go to
Yes!
Australia and do that.
It's
I'm
amazing.
Yes, I'm so excited. My uncle used to go skiing in New Zealand all the time. He's told me like amazing stories
It's
and shit like
beautiful.
that. So I will do that. But until then, Bec, it was so good chatting with you. I know that we'll do this again at some point.
Yes.
And maybe one time we'll just it'll just be pets only or no pet talk whatsoever. It's just like one of the two. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. I vote pet talk.
Yes, I do too. Because if
Yeah.
we're not allowed to talk about pets, we're just gonna sit there twiddling our thumbs and like staring at the
Yeah,
ceiling
I'll
and
just be
shit like
so
that.
awkward. I'm like, cats. But no, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Terminal Sleep, you dogs!
How about Terminal Sleep, you cats? Nah, I don't know. Huge, massive thanks to Bec for setting aside part of his Saturday to gush about our kitties and share an album experience together. I regret that we only had one Linkin Park record to spin because we probably could have jabbered about our pet stories for like another 3 hours, but I'm sure many of you out there are pretty happy that we didn't do that. Side note, After recording this episode, I went back and listened to Meteora because I hadn't listened to that in quite a while either. Banger, absolute banger of an album, and I think I might even prefer it to Hybrid Theory. But that could just be the nostalgia talking. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments or spinningthewax@gmail.com. Do not go another day without checking out Terminal Sleep. They have 2 EPs out there for you to sink your teeth into, as well as that 2-track that Bec mentioned with the songs Spineless and Shadows. Both bangers, but you shouldn't expect anything less at this point. Bec also guests on the heavy as fuck new track, Televised Suicide, from fellow Australians Volatile Ways, who have their next album, Perfect Dark, coming out on February 12th. Get on board now, because 2025 is going to be one that Terminal Sleep is not going to forget. What Bec couldn't announce when we were speaking, but is public info now, is that Terminal Sleep is going to be heading overseas for the first time as a band to hit up Resurrection Fest in Spain this summer in June. Fuck yeah. 2,000 Trees in the UK in July, as well as festivals in Czechia, Belgium, Germany, and who the fuck knows where else by the time it's all said and done. And it's so fucking exciting to see, and I'm so happy and proud of Bec, Will, Dom, Todd, and Dustin. It's been awesome to watch y'all go from having one song out there to now going overseas and playing internationally. So fuck yeah, big ups Terminal Sleep. That being said, that is it for another episode of Spinning the Wax, my friends. Thank you so much, as always, for your support and for your ears. We are going to be taking a few weeks off for the end of the year, but don't worry, there are episodes already recorded and ready to go for you in 2025, as well as plenty more interviews, both scheduled and in the works, so we won't be gone for long. I appreciate every single one of you, whether you're a patron or just listening in passing for the first and only time. The show went from a concept bouncing around in my head for a few years to an actual reality, and you are definitely part of that, so thank you. Definitely let me know who else that you want on the show, and constructive criticism, feedback, whatever it is highly, highly valued. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and you can check us out on Instagram at @SpinningTheWax or at @StayPuffed_Malo. You can go to patreon.com/SpinningTheWax and become a contributing member, where you can get early access to episodes, weekly new music updates, Patreon exclusive posts and videos, and a bunch more. Shout out to the spooky bitches, Mr. Dactyls and Miss Triceracop, Christopher Fletchifer, Zero O Signal for being badass marshmallows, as well as Mr. Pete and Mr. Roddy for being badass headbangers. My friends, we will see you in 2025. Until then, have a safe and happy new year. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be responsible. Be just a little slightly irresponsible. That's what makes things fun. But above all else, make sure that you stay heavy and stay puffed. We'll see you on the other side, friends.